I had to do this all over again, I was still gonna choose to be homeless. I got the freedom to be anywhere I want, when I want. I live for free. I still got all the necessities of life. A shower, a toilet, food, a stove,
Is he onto
fridge.
something?
I can spend my money on whatever I want.
We live in a world now where there's constant changes, right? When we take a look around on the Gen Z, they rather live in their cars. They rather go homeless. They think it's cool. And I'm not speaking for the ones that cannot afford it. And I'm not speaking for the ones who tried things, right? And it didn't work out to their expectation. And as a result, this is what they have to do. We're speaking for the ones who think that it's the norm or to come out here and show it, presenting it to the world that it's okay, which is really not. We got to think. We got to use emotional intelligence on the things that we're doing. But the Gen Zs, I don't know, Generation X, the baby boomers, I know they're probably saying, what's going on? But as we can see, this economy, it keeps changing. It's the inflation and everything is going up. And we understand for those people, but for the ones who come out here and they think it's like, it's booming right now. Just living in your car, being homeless is the new thing. Like, let's watch this video.
The sounds of the birds singing wake me up, and the first thing I do is open up the sunroof to get some natural sunlight in, do a little morning stretch to get that blood flowing. Now I have to clear the
Not too good of a stretch there, man.
I store all my belongings on the driver's seat while I'm sleeping, and then I restore it on my bed while I'm driving. So as you can see, I have very limited space, but I use it efficiently. I have a cooler with no ice.
Why is he whispering? I feel like I'm watching ASMR or something.
Gallon water bottles that I refill myself with my own personal water with my water filtration system. I have to be a little bit flexible to get back into the driver's seat. I start my morning
It's not a very big car.
routine and brush my teeth, but unfortunately my toothbrush shattered. But now I'm gonna get ready to do TikTok lives and beg for money. I'm live right now.
If I had to do this all over again, I was still gonna choose to be homeless. I got the freedom to be anywhere I want, when I want. I live for free. I still got all the necessities of life. A shower, a toilet, food, a stove,
Is he onto
fridge.
something?
I can spend my money on whatever I want. Wake up with the freedom of knowing that my money is going to what I want it to, not what it has to be.
That's
going
heavy.
to. A lot of people don't realize that they stress in life because they make things more complicated than they are. When you learn to look at things for what they are instead of what you want them to be, you learn how to navigate. I picked my main things that made me happy and what I needed, and that's where I'm at.
I mean, I'm from the millennium, right? I was taught to work and I was taught to have this American dream, or create this American dream rather. And we know that this economy keeps changing. So this American dream, poof, be out there, right? When it comes down to credit cards, inflation, housing, having a home, cars, and the list goes on and on. Now, it makes it impossible for anyone to live the American dream. And we're not going by that anymore because, I mean, the system is all messed up. But anyway, long story short, I was taught to work and try to be successful. And if it doesn't happen, well, at least I'm trying. But stable home has been one of them, rent. And I know you're probably going to say, well, it's not affordable. And I understand that. But for the ones who take homelessness as think it's cool, to come up here and show it out, I don't know if that part makes sense. It's not clicking for me. And you're probably going to say, well, that's smart living. How about when you start to have a family? The things that we do, we got to learn how to be proactive and set up ourselves for the future, for our children. A lot of time we live in now. We think now. We don't think for the future. And I feel like this is what's messing up the Gen Z, is that they're not planning for the future anymore. However, we do have some situation where people were able to move and transition from being homeless to find an apartment, depending on what they're doing.
Down in the comments, so feel free to. I'm going to pin his link down in the description, so feel free to go check that out.
Today is my last day living out of my car. Yes.
Good for you, brother.
My friends, I'm moving into an apartment tomorrow. I have been approved. I'm freaking thrilled, first of all. I got the email just a couple of nights ago, so
That's awesome.
I'm still processing it, to be honest with you, but it's happening fast, and
That's
we're
big,
moving
bro.
in
It's massive.
fast. It's been 3 years. 3 years of me living out of my vehicle. I've been through a lot of challenges, but I've also grown a lot in the past 3 years. Things have changed in my life, and new opportunities have come into my life. New people have come into my life, and that has allowed me to make this happen. So it's going to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with all of the amenities. Doing my laundry in the apartment. It's got a pool. It's got a pool table. It's got
that's
a
nice
gym.
place.
It's got a workstation. It's a really nice apartment complex in a safe area, and it's also only 12 miles from my son's mom's house, which is incredible.
We see some creators out here that, you know, they start off in their cars, they tell us their experience, and then they pivot and went to an apartment. God bless them, you know. But some people take it as like they're making, I don't know if it's they're trying to make fun of the situation, or they just want to feel what it feels like, or they are just, I don't know. I don't know how to think about it, but we got real situation here where people who really want stable housing and can't afford it due to their situation, their children can't afford it. You know, it's not easy. And a lot of these women also are in situation based on, you know what, I'm not even going to touch that. That's going to be another topic on its own. But y'all, let me tell you something. It's not easy out here, okay?
I make almost twice the federal minimum wage, and I am still thousands of dollars below the poverty line. I am homeless. I live in my car. I cannot afford to rent an apartment. I can hardly afford to live in my car. And it's tough times, you know? I work 40 hours a week. I am not in an entry-level position. I am in a skilled position. I make twice the federal minimum wage. And I am poor. And if that isn't the most late-stage capitalism thing, if you want to buy me a meal, my Venmo's in my bio.
And for these Gen Z that think it's cool to live in a car and feel like, I don't know, it's nothing. And the ones that really, really need it can't have it. Something is wrong with that. This is not for everyone. I'm speaking strategically for the ones who feel like, okay, I'm just living life to live it. I'm going to live in a car and I'm going to shoot content. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Come on now, let's be real, because what we're perpetrating out, what we're delivering out here, we want to send the right message, right? We don't want everyone to capitalize on this thing and feel like this is the normal new living. If you can't afford it and you're going homeless, that's a different story. But I mean, we're not sending a great message out here. And I know y'all may come after me for this, but it is what it is. I'm speaking how I feel, and we can all agree to disagree. I'm okay with that. But we have to learn how to try things first before you feel like, you know, it's not going to work for you, or you're just going to do this, send a message that it's okay to live in your car. It's not okay. So then there's a different story for the ones who are working minimum wage. You know, they are paying and trying to keep up. But truth be told, based on their life, based on what they're going through, these are the ones that really can't afford it, and they tried it. I can see and understand why they live in their car because of this circumstance and situation. You know, when I look and observe how this economy is going and how the system is messed up, and which is no help, it's like wages remains the same, and they allow landlords to continue to raise rent. Do you see the effect right there? It makes it impossible, and then you have to go out there and pick up another job. And for the ones who have children and cannot pick up another job, or maybe don't have help, you know, thing of that nature, it makes it really hard. And it's starting to create a mental issue here, because it makes you unstable. You can't sleep. And I can understand for these type of people, and may God help these people, because it's not easy, y'all. And that's why I always say we got to pray through it. So can you see the difference there? There's some who don't really care, and it's a name brand thing, or it's booming for them and it's cool living in your car, it excites. But look at the ones who really want stable housing and can't afford to. You see how life is? Who wants can get, and who have don't want. Maybe I didn't say that right, but you understand where I'm coming from. It's sad. See, I speak a lot on these topics because, I can relate to some of these, especially when we speak on housing, how this market keep going up, the rent continue to go high, and it just don't make sense knowing that the government doesn't come in and step into this and try to control or increase salary so that we can survive. I feel like it was designed to set us up for failure, y'all. And that's just my opinion, because when I take a look at it, like literally checking my job, I do not make a lot of money. I work in the school system. And when I see that there's no raise, right? And I'm like, how do I survive? But God is helping me through the process of it, right? He is helping me with, my faith, resources. He's helping me to, be creative with what I do as a content creator. It's hard, but God is helping me through the process. And listen, I pray about it each and every day. And I know you probably don't want to hear this, but all I can say to you, my friend, if you're going through it, I want you to pray through it as well, okay? Pray through it and ask God for understanding, wisdom, and helping you with resources and creativity. And just try. Do the best you can. All right, do the best you can. There's a reason why I create these type of content, because I want us to pay attention to the things that is going on. But nevertheless, no matter what is going on, just pray through it.